Welcome to the Ultimate Sacrifice Show, where combat veterans and Gold Star families have a voice. All right, welcome to the next episode of the Ultimate Sacrifice Show. Today's episode is absolutely stellar with an amazing guest, Kyle Bigue. Kyle, say hi. Wave to the camera. So, what's awesome about this episode is that we're a month out from the Warrior Ride. And Kyle is the one conducting the Warrior Ride. So this episode is obviously going to be all about Kyle, just like every episode. It's about the person that comes on. However, we are going to roll everything into the Warrior Ride, the why, the purpose, the 5 W's other than that, and everything. Kyle has an extremely interesting story. I served with Kyle in the same unit. We were in different companies and different capacities, different jobs, different roles, but we have a lot of interconnections, and we just so happened, I was in front and center, but I randomly happened to be there that day. That was the catalyst ultimately to the Warrior Ride, but not only that, to the ride that happened when you rode down to Texas as well. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of interconnections, man, and it's funny how things come around. But I want to amplify you, and I'm going to give you the floor. We're going to start with who you are, where you're from, and what led you into military service.
Okay, so my name is Kyle Bigue. I grew up in Concord, New Hampshire. Pretty much my whole life has been in New Hampshire. Me as a person, I mean, that's a long story. I wouldn't even know how to start with that. But
let's start from kind of like very brief youth growing up into high school, like leading into the service. But whatever you want to do. I mean, I'm here for you, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of how to say that. So I guess middle school, we moved around quite a bit. I was a single mother. So it was just me and my mom for a while. We grew up pretty poor. So she made things very, sorry, I fucked up on that one.
You're good, man.
That's good. Hard. Fuck. You want me to talk about what my...
Dude, you talk about whatever you want leading up, man. Literally. Just take a pause, dude. And I get it, man. Like, I get it, dude. I know your story offline. I know it's hard. It's hard to portray this on the podcast. I get it, man.
Little words, I don't know how to do that. That's like a story.
It's fine. Do it however you want. There is no right way, man. All you.
So what was the question again, then?
So who you are, man. Basically, we're going to break it up into your youth, kind of a fast forward all the way through high school, and eventually what drove you to serve in the military and in the Army.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So anyways, yeah, we grew up pretty poor. It was just me and my mom. Never had a car, so she did everything by herself. She made things very special. Like as a child, to go grocery shopping or to go anywhere, like dentist appointments anywhere, she carried me or pulled me in a wagon. So learning from that, she did everything she could. That gave me a strong sense of, it was just she was powerful, everything by herself. And that stayed with me today. It was just her.
Awesome.
And yeah, but she also suffered from I think it's called PMDD and some other depression thing, and it made life really clinical depression. And it made things very, very rough in my middle school years. Um, it was every day was a huge struggle. I mean, there's a week that we didn't really eat because if someone said something that threw her off, she'd like throw plates or like plates, like bits and pieces of plates were like in our food and we couldn't even eat, just anything. So it got me like constantly scared. I didn't really want to have friends come over to my house just because it was just tough. Like my stepbrothers at the time, like they even had it worse. Um, it just that changed, like, and it only happened like when like middle school and high school hit, and it just like changed my life and it changed our lives. The whole thing was like walking on eggshells, and it really wasn't her fault. She had those diagnoses, but it just made life miserable, and you just didn't want to be home. And other things happened that I explained in the last video, and it was just a war zone growing up, and you couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. So I kind of, at school, I didn't really have any friends because I separated myself just because I didn't know what to do. I was just scared at all times. What to say, what to do. Like you had to cater to the emotions that she was having those days. It just made it rough. It was hard.
Hey Kyle, let me say that for everyone that's going to be listening, when he says the last video, we posted his video on our social media accounts. I implore everyone to go take a look. That's exactly what he's referring to. Kyle, we don't need to touch on that right now, man. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
I didn't want to dive into that just yet.
You're good, man. I got you.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, I love her. She's awesome. It was just rough. It was, you just wanted someone to like love you and everything. And people were lost in their own thing. And it changed me. It made me hard, made me cold. I didn't let anyone in. So yeah, it changed my life. It changed it drastically. I did, and no one can even get close to me. I was afraid of people loving me. It just really just shocked my core. But yeah.
What led you in after that, buddy, through high school? What was your passion? What drove you into service?
So at the time, like I was married. I had my first child, Kiana, and I think she was like 6 months old or a year. Not really good with time, but I was working at Lowe's. It really wasn't enough. It wasn't giving us anything. We were living with my wife's mom. It just wasn't. We wanted something for ourselves, and that job wasn't really doing it. We're just kind of stuck. And my life it was just constant struggle after constant struggle. And the army seemed like it was like a way out, and the brotherhood of it all, like that kind of like that's what I wanted, like my entire life. Someone who's just protect you and be there for you no matter what. Like I really got caught on to that. I wanted that. I wanted someone to fight for me. And I was willing to do the same. That's what that was my passion. I just wanted to be cared about. I wanted to mean something. And so I joined up, and life, yeah, it definitely turned a page. And that changed my life also.
Yeah, I'd say it turned a page, buddy. I'd say it turned a page. And this is obviously what we're gonna really be talking about, but this is unlike any podcast and show. It's like, I feel like just kind of speaking to you unscripted. Because this war ride, everything that's leading up to this is so friggin' important, dude. And you're the show. You're the main character. And I want to amplify. Okay, obviously the catalyst to this is Maddox. All right.
Yeah, of course.
Your brother, and like a million times has been said, my platoon, we were on an outpost elsewhere, and then we flew in to rip out of Afghanistan, and we just so happened to fly in like the day, or I think it was the day prior, might have been 2 days prior to this incident happening. And then when we ran over there, I was behind Colin at the time. You guys were obviously the friggin' heroes of the day, and we showed up after, and it's just interesting to me how this came around in a full circle. Yeah. And now all of us are doing this together, and all of us, me, you, and Colin, just so happened to be there randomly together on that day. It's crazy, unreal, man. Completely different jobs and roles. I was in a different platoon.
And we're here now, and it's just wild. Like it's nuts, and we're all working together again. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
No, I know, bro. So we deployed in 2013. Okay, Kyle was on FOB Andor, I think the whole time, right?
No, I was at
Bounced
Four Corners too. Four Corners first.
Bounced around. Gotcha. Yeah. So I was with the 10th Mountain. I was all the way out on Band-Aid Sarde, which is a little bit away. A couple mountain peaks away. Takes forever in Afghanistan, though. Even going like a mile takes forever. It's just it's the way it is.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
My God.
But so we were on. Yeah, so you were on Andor. You were on Four Corners. Little more like outposts, because both of them were small, even though Andor was a FOB.
Yeah.
And that was in 2013. And Kyle, I'll just say who you were with, man, because we need to get into meat and potatoes, because this shit is important. So Kyle was with, essentially, he was with Lieutenant Lineberger. So Colin, the chief operations officer of the Ultimate Sacrifice Foundation, and one of my best friggin' friends and brothers, was Kyle's platoon leader. Am I correct on that, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
At the time, and they were, you bounced from Four Corners to FOB Andor at the time. With that, let's go through your experience first. So personal experience on that deployment, the ups, the downs, all the good stuff.
Like before leading up?
Before. We'll hit on that separately.
Okay. It was pretty slow. I mean, especially in the winter. I mean, we're there to like tear down the FOB. So I mean, it was pretty. I mean, when we first got there, it was kind of just like everyday stuff. It wasn't really exciting at all. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be at all. But I mean, can't really recall. Not many events happened that like can go into my head,
not any like cataclysmic events.
Yeah, like
right, little things like here and there.
Like what's important, and like nothing really happened drastic. Nothing was life changing. It was just everyday stuff. Day in, day out, you put your work in. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't like glorify. I can't glorify it. It wasn't much in the beginning, because it was the winter. It wasn't fighting season. Nothing was really going on.
So what's funny about Afghanistan is Afghanistan went in spurts, but in the winter, usually it's not fighting season. You got to wait till the spring, and then sometimes in the spring, summer, and the warm months, it is so intense it's out of control.
Yeah.
But also in the winter, like for 3+ months at a time, they'll hunker down. Maybe they'll mortar you a couple times. Maybe they'll shoot some pop shots, get you pissed off. You'll return some pretty boy stuff. But that's about it. What's funny about Afghanistan is it went in big spurts, and RC East used to be the Wild Wild West. When we went there, we were still running missions and all that. And what was interesting about that deployment, though, was that the times of mayhem were just as, and I say mayhem, and I'm using Maddox time as an example. The times of that were just as kind of all of a sudden and insane as I've ever seen. Man. You can dive into any valley you want in Afghanistan. You can get into a 24-hour firefight and be absolutely insane. But that day in specific is fucking imprinted in all of our brains, and you especially, man, being one of the first responders essentially. Let's screw everything else, dude. The Warrior Ride is a month out. This is the biggest thing that has I don't know a single organization that has ever backed something like this, and I don't know a single human being that I know personally that's ever done something as psychotic as this. Yeah. You can go to Ranger School Selection, Slick Sniper School. I don't give a shit what you do. This shit is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm fucking honored to be in your corner on this, dude. Let's move into it. Let's move into that day. Okay, screw all the other stuff. That day, let's start at the beginning. Catalyst to everything.
Yeah, so it started out like every other day. We saw our outpost was right near the fuel station or the diesel where all the diesel gets stored. That's where Maddox worked every day. So we used to see him, like our shift started right when he was walking, like we saw each other every day, we shoot the shit, talk. He does the same thing. He fuels up the trucks, for everyone that was working there and all the fuel. Like he was in charge of that. So it started like every other day. It kind of started early. I think it was me and Walters, Sergeant Walters in the outpost. And it's like nothing I've ever, all of a sudden we're just looking like it's every day. So every day kind of blends in, it's like Groundhog's Day. And it felt weird. And me and Walters were just looking at each other, and then all of a sudden it was like the biggest explosion like we just shocked us, and we just stood there. We didn't know what was going on. This flame that was higher than it was like
the Empire State Building. It was fucking huge.
And the heat, like it almost like burned down the outpost itself, and we're pretty far from it. And all I can think about is just like Maddox was right there. He was on top of he wasn't on top. He was handing the hose to the Afghan on the truck, and then, but you couldn't see through it. It was just like it was like this one big flame, as big as, a huge building. And it was silent. It was just, that was it. No, nothing. So I run down. Sergeant Argentalis he was already down there. And I came down to talk to him, and I'm like, Maddox was right there. Like, where is he? And then all of a sudden you hear this scream, just like the scream that you can't get out of your head, man. Like, it's like the worst sound you could ever possibly imagine. And it's him on fire, 100% on fire. And he took a couple steps. He took like 3 or 4 steps, and he dropped, and we thought he was dead. So we ran over, it was hard even to get close to him because he only took 4 steps like out of the flames, and that it was so hot. You couldn't, when you're walking, you're going like this, and you're shaking because of the heat's like burning you alive. But I mean, obviously we had to do something. So me and Archie tried driving as far away as we could possibly do it. We even stopped a couple times because it was so unbearably hot, and that hurts me to this day. How we stopped a couple times, that hurts me. And it was so, his boot, everything you could see was on fire. And it was diesel fuel. You couldn't even get it off. We took off my jacket, and I'm going down, and it's catching my shit on fire. And he's still screaming, "Help me, help me!" And he's on fire. We can't even do nothing. And he's just, we're his brothers. He wants us to help him. We're just trying so hard, and there's not much we could do. And then, so it was just me and RJ for a bit. And then Walters, he went to get help, and then he came back. And then there's this one other person, but we started dragging them, we started picking them up. And I mean, even Sergeant Walters, he had like burns on here because he was still on fire because we couldn't put it out. And then we finally went to the sand pit. We covered him with sand, and it stopped the fire. And then next thing you know, we brought him to the medical place, and that's the last time I saw him.
So, oh fuck.
You know, man,
it's hard to talk about on my point of view, dude. Whenever I talk about, especially subordinates, so like, I don't say that pretentiously, like that's what the military labels anyone on lower ranking as subordinates, but they're really just brothers. I mean, whenever I see that happen, they'll occur in any capacity, it destroys me. I know that statistically, you know, there's not as many staff sergeants and sergeant first classes, or captains or majors as there are privates. Like, I get it, or even specialists, which he was at the time. He's posthumously awarded the rank of sergeant, as everyone who dies in combat is. Am I correct on that, Kyle? Did he make E5?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. That's my apologies. So I'm wrong on that. He already did make E5. So even so, he was still subordinate. And dude, it crushes me, man. It's like you see the fucking laundry list of people that have given their life for the country, and all it is just littered with privates and specialists and sergeants and a bunch of staff sergeants too, and some sergeant first class, lieutenant captains, sometimes in a different capacity. Apologies. I just got a phone call during this. But I want to make it clear, first, that when Kyle said the fuel point exploded, our fuel point was attacked, and it exploded based off that. Kyle, you don't have to say anything to that. I told you before this, and I'll tell you till the dawn of time in front of the entire Congress of the United States that we've got your back 110% on that, and it's never going to change.
I hope so. I mean, that's very important. I mean, we weren't allowed to say those. We weren't allowed to say that for the longest time.
You don't have to say anything, buddy. If you don't mind, we'll leave it at that. Let's talk. Let's keep going, man.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead. It's the sand pit. We were in the sand pit. You were in the sand pit.
So after we got into the sand pit and got them, so even the whole story. I missed some points too. I mean, even our fire extinguisher, which I threw down to a sergeant. I forgot his name, but I threw it down to him, and it didn't work. It was a dud fire extinguisher. So we couldn't put out the fire within 10 seconds, right? And obviously be in pain, but he still, wouldn't be as much in pain, because just seeing in his eyes is the worst thing. I've never seen somebody in so much pain in my life, and you wanted to help him and you just felt helpless. You couldn't do a thing. You couldn't do anything. Your own brother crying in pain. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And a fire extinguisher doesn't even work. Nothing was even in it. So we had to suffer for that longer. The whole thing was a mess from the start. So, I mean, just everything. Everything was burnt. It's a fucking nightmare. The pain and suffering that he went through, and that stuck with me every day. I mean, that's why I'm doing this ride. That's why this ride. I need to do something drastic. I need to do. That's why I'm camping the whole time. It can't be easy. This is for him. This is for our brother who's paid the ultimate price, and it was in pain the entire time. He means the fucking world to us, me. He deserves. I want his name to be remembered throughout the ages. And that's my whole mission. I want his name to be remembered. I want everybody to know his name. That is my goal, because he deserves that. He's the bravest guy I've ever met. So I'm gonna, till my last day, I'm gonna honor him.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it will be.
Yeah,
I promise.
I know.
It will be. It's I remember running over there. I forget exactly where I was. I might have ran into our hooch real fast, a little tent, or I might have been outside when that happened. I remember Colin was he was in the talk. So Tactical Operations Command, for anyone that's wondering what that is. And I remember him running out, and I saw him right ahead of me, and just randomly, it's just so randomly lined up that, you know, I ran out. A couple of my soldiers were with me too. And we were behind him. He probably showed up, I don't know, 25, 50 meters before we did, ballpark. And that's when you guys got him out, and we were getting the stretcher ready. I remember, you know, Sergeant Moss, who's one of my absolute fucking boys. I was in the scout platoon with him. He was there just getting the medevac coordinated and all that. Everyone handled it like true badass motherfucking infantry dudes.
Yeah.
Just like we handle everything. But you know, I saw the pain that day in all of you. You know, listen, man, I've obviously a lot of your superiors, that was a generation of really fucking intense war in Afghanistan and Iraq. But with that being said, I've never seen anything like this per se, like what occurred without giving details. But I did see, I remember you three, you and Archie and Caleb, who obviously those are the heroes. I mean, those are the people that were there and did stuff and attempted to jump on a human being engulfed in flames. It's like mind-boggling, man. It really is, especially for all of us, all your, you know, quote unquote superiors. I remember carrying him or them carrying him. I was trailing on the right side of the litter at the time, and the medevac came in very efficiently and fast, and we got him out. You know, without even going through details, but some of the things that I know that you know that I saw that's imprinted in your brain. I will say that for anyone, I've never seen anything so courageous in my life, dude.
I don't think any of us really thought about it, because we didn't. I mean, so when I was in Afghanistan, I mean, I had my second daughter, Layla, and I haven't even seen her yet. To tell you the truth, when that happened, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about none of us. I don't think any of us that were right there thought about the actual fuel point. Like, if the fuel point actually blew up, I wouldn't even be here today. Archie wouldn't be here today. Walters wouldn't be here. You know, we didn't even think, like, you know, we didn't even think, because like, that is our brother. Like, you know, I think we were all ready too. That's how much he meant to us. You know,
Kyle, in the history of war fighting in Afghanistan, let's combine Iraq too. Oh, sorry, my watch going crazy. Yeah. This is funny. So the history of Iraq, Afghanistan war fighting, but we're specifically talking about Afghanistan. I've never seen that happen before. Our field limits have multiple safety checkpoints. For that not to happen, unless something was directly affected on top or via mechanical. I'm going to say that right now, but the fuel point wasn't designed to explode as a mutually exclusive unit. And you know that.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Mean, I think the one of the guys who told me, he said it was the first thing. It was like the second day out, like after he got medevac, he was a straight interviews, and they're like, well, we think this happened because he didn't ground himself or something. And even like one of the mechanical guys is like, this is impossible. He's yes. Like, that's impossible. I don't know anything about that, but he's just like, there's something off, and like it caught into my head, like it is off. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I know, buddy. Let's move on, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle, you're gonna be back on. You're gonna have a lot to do with this foundation. We'll get into the weeds on that, buddy. But
yeah,
we owe it. I owe it to you, and ultimately to the Maddox family, to honor Anthony and stay on course.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, the fucking Warrior Ride.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's what it's about. Brotherhood.
This is unbelievable. Yeah. Bro, I'm telling you, when I never in my wildest dreams, number one, did I think this was ever going to start and occur or ever get as big in only a few months as it has.
Yeah, it's only been a couple months.
It's literally only been a few months operational. So New York is ridiculous with everything. When you try to incept in New York and then the IRS, it just takes some time to get all the hunky-dory paperwork done for your nonprofit. But operational, it's only been a few months being fully operational. We were doing small scale stuff before, but then the Warrior Ride was brought up.
Yeah.
I don't know a single soul in this planet that that has the drive and passion to do something like this other than you. Yeah. I say that wholeheartedly. I literally know no one, dude.
For that. They call me crazy too, but
well, you know what? I'll tell you this. America's going to get a real... I told them when I went on Fox, dude. I said, you've been lied to for the past 2 friggin' decades. You have been lied to. They have not told the truth. America has no clue the type of lethality and badass motherfuckers that our infantry harbors.
Fucking right.
I know. I have a real clear understanding.
I bet.
Okay? Because we've been up against ridiculous amounts of enemies, and we have accomplished our mission with making sure they were expired throughout the year.
Yeah.
And I know all you feel the same and have done. So, with that being said, we're lucky as fuck to have you on our side, man. I'm so damn honored.
I'm glad to be on.
I love you beyond belief, dude. I want you to explain the Warrior Ride, your purpose, your why behind it.
Okay.
And kind of everything it entails. Just have at it, dude.
Let's so the purpose. So PTSD awareness is definitely one of the top key points, because living with PTSD, if you have or living with somebody who has it, it's totally devastating. It can ruin your life. I mean, it put a damper on mine for a long time. I mean, I'm divorced and ruined my marriage. Not to blame it all on that, but like, I've lost a lot because I had no idea what it was. I didn't know why I was getting, I didn't know why I was getting angry, and I pushed everybody away. I didn't understand why I was going through these vicious cycles of like demolishing like my life. Like, it was like I did it for fun for some reason. Like I didn't understand it. Why? So, I mean, this ride, I want people to understand, like, this is PTSD is like really serious, and then once it takes hold, and if you do not get any help, and if you're alone with PTSD, I mean, so many things can happen. There's so many vets out there that are just alone with PTSD, and they have no idea how to live. They're separating each other. They're not going out, like, it's ruining their lives. People that have fought for our freedoms, their lives are being ruined. And if we can do something about it, like you guys are doing, you're setting up stuff to help these guys. Like, that's the biggest thing there is. And of course, I want to be on your side helping these people out, because I know firsthand it sucks living with PTSD. It's horrible. So that's huge on why I'm doing this. It's very important to me, because people need to get help, and I would love to help you guys so you can help other people, you know?
Kyle, you know that we also partnered with the top addiction and mental health treatment inpatient and outpatient center in America. And we're scholarshiping a minimum of 2 to begin with, either service members, veterans, Gold Star family members, or their close relatives that need help.
That's huge.
Into these beds for the continuum of treatment and getting them true treatment that I know works, because a very good friend of mine is one of the CEOs of this. It's gigantic, which we will release come Boston time, but I want to keep their anonymity and I want to keep them anonymous. God, I hate saying that, man. Sound like an idiot. I want to keep them anonymous right now, just for their own liking, but you know, and their privacy. But I want you to know that, man. I don't know if we told you that yet. Kyle, I don't think you understand the severity of the outside looking in, though. And this is my point. When I told you earlier, even like JC, like one of my brothers and boys, like he was an RA in Dahlonega, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us went to these like pretty boy schools. JC was ensconced in like a ranger school. We both of us have never seen anything even remotely close to this level of not only mental and spiritual love for a brother, but physical abuse of the body with complete disregard for oneself.
Yeah. Yes.
It's 3,700 miles with 4 major checkpoints and events, you know, big schmooze fest, essentially, whatever. But they're very important. Especially Boston's important, but Bloomington's the most important out of it all.
That is.
Maddox family, they're saints, they're fucking angels.
I can't wait to meet it.
It's like
I haven't looked up to anything. Like, this is the thing I'm most excited to do, is meet his family. I'm nervous, but
we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it the best we possibly can for you, man. And everything's set in stone. We have Kyle track, GPS, we have resupplies, medical points, you name it. If Kyle needs anything, doesn't need anything phenomenal. If he needs anything, it's there within a second that we can help him. You know, or let's say 20 or 30 minutes, it will be there. You know, where we can help him because we're assisting you, and I love the amount of logistics and supply points, route planning, so on and so forth that it's taking. It makes me become obsessed with it, and you must be like 10 times as obsessed. Dude, talk about the ride, man. We're gonna document the whole thing. We got film teams, production teams. This is gonna be a documentary, and it's gonna be all about you. And you're gonna win a fucking Sundance Award.
Yeah, man. I don't even know where to start with that, dude. Like, it's just, I mean, it is wild. I try not to like do 3,700 miles, you know, like that's, you know, I can't even think about it. I think that's why I'm not freaking out now, but it's just like, I'm just so excited to be able to do this. And I'm gonna be camping the whole way, and it's just, I know, like, and I feel in my soul, like I'm gonna honor Maddox right. You know, it's gonna help. I hope, you know, that I hope this helps so many people. I want people to know that, like, there's people out there that care, you know, that they're not alone, and if this can do something about it, like, this is huge. This is the only thing I've ever want. I want to bring hope to people that have none, that have fought for us, who have died for us. And this is what it's about, honoring everybody, you know? And so this needs to be huge. This needs to be, you know, big. I mean,
it already is, man.
It's just,
it already is. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny talking to you here. But like I leave like a lot of stuff out because we just over inundate you with shit, and it's stuff you don't need to know. Like, your ride is all about you, and we're supplying you and providing you with the proper tools to be able to execute and accomplish this mission. That's it. All the back end stuff, PR, the major news networks that are going to catch this, the millions of freaking people across the country, like, it's already coming, dude. and it is coming, but that's not any of your concern. This shit is not for any freaking publicity. Publicity is just, it's gonna come with someone doing something like this. This is for you. This is for the Maddox family. This is for Anthony freaking Maddox. This is for every single veteran with PTSD or suicidal ideations that need help. And ultimately, it's going to be for people that need help the most that we're going to scholarship. Okay. But that's not going to be it. What you're doing is going to create a completely game-changing environment across the entire veteran community, dude. I've seen it. We're living it right now coming up on a month. The amount of connections and network and people that we have met, and these, big wigs that actually are phenomenal people that we've aligned ourselves with, all because of you, is every day. My mind is 1,000 miles per hour, dude. It's insane.
I try not to
love
bother
every
you guys
second.
because I know you guys are like everywhere.
Dude,
so I'm afraid to ask a question.
People wouldn't believe. Fuck that. We always have time for you. People wouldn't even believe us if we told them the amount of shit that has been accomplished in the past 3 months and the amount of stuff that is being accomplished. But, the only thing you need to know is that we've talked about on the side, and this isn't like a podcast thing, but I don't really care because I love you. Dude, we talked about like the PR bullshit. Like you're going to have this isn't fucking scripted. This isn't going on, CNN, Fox, or NBC, and start answer the question like a robot. No.
Yeah, I can't do
this. This is Kyle's story. This is so many combat veterans across the United States. Afghanistan was unlike any war we've ever fucking seen. So was Iraq. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I know, dude, so many people are like, you keep saying that. I'm going to have to get in a conversation about that. But it truly is, and there's multiple factors as to why. One of them being that in 2015 or 14, 78% of the troops that were deploying to Afghanistan specifically, Iraq was similar on parity levels, saw combat in one way, shape, or form. That hasn't ever happened across the entire military. I'm talking people all the way from an S1 clerk all the way up to the ground pounders, infantry. 78% were walking away with that. And I'm sure it elevated all the way up to, when we drew down from Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. But
it's wild.
With that said, Kyle, we have, let's call it 80%. It's probably more though, but let's call it 80%. Let's say it went up 2%. It kind of stalled, whatever, or 85%. You have that amount of veterans, and let's say 50% of them got out, which is realistic because a lot of those war fighters were strictly there to fight that war. Mm-hmm. And then they got out. Now you have them walking around the United States. And now to civilians looking in on this, number one, no one has an absolute clue. And sometimes it's not worth even saying it. We were always quiet professionals, but at this point, I'm amplifying it, and I'm going to continue to. People have no idea the capacity of the U.S. military. And I remember getting questions. Russia-Ukraine's going on right now, obviously. Yeah. And I'm leading this all into you. Kyle's a perfect example. So people thought this Russian military was this big, bad military who could eliminate the targets within the block of or region that they're in. And I kept telling them it's a farce. It's not true. They're not. Neither are some of these other countries that are potential threats. Yeah. They haven't been battle tested for the past 2 decades, like not only us, but many countries. They're not combat proven. They have 18-year-olds who have lackluster training, and now it's coming to fruition. It's coming to fruition. The American military, I'll put it this way, in Afghanistan, and I don't want to ramble about this, but it's so important for your mission, dude. It needs to be out there. And this is the only platform to do it on, really, for now. Mm-hmm. But in the entire 20 plus years of combat operations in Afghanistan, and combat in many portions of Afghanistan was absolutely fucking mayhem. We had platoon size elements, 38 to 42, roughly, guys, taking out 300 plus size Taliban elements. That doesn't happen without the absolute most badass military on this fucking planet.
Of course.
All right. So that's what I'm going to say, number one. All right. That's also a tribute to my brothers in Wanat. We love each and every one of you. I just want to let you know, the Restrepo boys fucking love you guys. That shit is badass. With that said, okay, to siphon back before I get ahead of myself. All right. Dude, I'm just going to narrow it down so I don't go off on a tangent. Okay. But all of that is kind of ranging back into the scenario of you doing a 3,700 mile bike ride. You crazy bastard. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. That amount of passion and exuberance and highlighting of another human being is astounding, dude. I've never seen it in my entire life. I've never seen anything like this. There's no quest to conquer that would be more than this, in my opinion, at least, you know, within our capacity. And you're a fucking badass. Come on,
man. Yeah, I mean, it's my love for him. I mean, I can't really explain it. You know, it's right here. And that's what I'm going to show everybody. You know, this is who I am. You know, this is what I do. So I can't really explain it any more than that. You know, that's how much he means, and he's worth it. He's worth a lot more.
Yeah, you know, we're doing a lot of stuff. I don't want to say it publicly because some of it's like a surprise, but we're doing a lot of stuff, and I kind of like bumble around in my head, like maybe we can do also a Maddox flag too, because we have us in the FTC, like going through Bloomington. There's a lot of things that we can do. You know, it's like I'd almost rather over plan this and over pursue it than under, like just above and beyond. Because, dude, Kai, I feel like Gold Star families are always left out, dude. They're left out of the mix.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I just said there needs to be a change. I think we're going in the right direction, you know. With that change, highlighting these people that need, you know, they're important. Someone needs to step up.
Yeah, they're vastly important, Kai. So many directions we can take it, dude.
Yeah.
So many directions we could take it. The direction we have is perfect. Everything's planned out. I just yeah, definitely, man. You feel the same way, bro. And it's it's like their loved one dies, they go and they do a ceremony with the unit, and it's like a 2 or 3 day powwow, and then they leave and they're disbanded. And you know, who really keeps up with them? Like, who's with them? They lost, you know, for everyone who loses a son or daughter in any capacity, but let's just narrow it down, because obviously not every scenario is different. Everyone's an individual. Let's narrow it down to combat operations, like someone like Anthony, who raised his right hand to willingly go to a war-driven country and fight against the worst terrorist regime to ever exist. You know, for anyone who doesn't think that's the most noble thing ever, I got news for you, you fucking prick. You didn't do shit for the country you love to criticize.
Yeah.
And that's your fucking news. This dude was a damn hero. And I would take the weakest private in our unit against any single human being that hasn't ever been there. They are the baddest warfighters on this planet. And I was honored to have served with all of them. I have a fucking vast array of pride and just love for each and every one of them, including you, dude.
Well, it goes both ways, man. I love you guys. You guys know that. You guys are my family.
No, hell yeah, man. So Boston, we're starting in Boston April 29th. We just released the details. That's going to be a kick-ass event. We have some really heavy-hitting team members that we're going to bring up there that's going to help us with all the dog and pony show stuff. But they're awesome, dude. They're dying to meet you. I'm not going to release their names again I'm not going to say and whatever it is. I'm going to allow them to remain anonymous. Anonymity, is that it?
Yeah, either one.
But it's truly going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to have you back on, and we're going to go in depth with other stuff.
For sure.
I'm going to leave the floor to you, and we did the 5Ws, the Warrior Ride, yada yada yada. Your passion. If you want to hit on anything else, dude, floor is yours. We got about 5 minutes left on the recording.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I said most of it. I just most of my words. I usually don't really like to talk. I want to show people my love through my actions. There's only so much I can say. But you need to watch this. You guys got me the equipment to videotape most of the ride. This is gonna be the most wildest ride people are gonna see. I'm gonna be camping the whole way. In a hammock tent, baby tent in the desert, I already told Colin if I get bit by a snake, I'm haunting him though, by the way. So,
I'll go murder the whole snake family if that occurs.
I'm gonna haunt him for the rest of my life. But it's just, I just want to show people the love we have for our brothers, and it never goes away. And most of the time when you're done with war, it follows you home, and that's what we're helping those people that need the help. They need that help, and sometimes they don't like getting the help, but sometimes it takes a crazy crazy I don't even know the word for it, but
adventure act.
So it's
whatever.
some crazy acts to bring people together to be like, hey, I got you. You're suffering, I'm suffering. Let's come together. Let's connect like we did back in the day when we were fighting with each other. Like in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Because when we leave, it all goes away, and there's a missing piece out of all of us. There's something we're trying to find that we can't get back because we're not in the army anymore. If that makes sense.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that's community, man.
Yeah, it's the community.
A lot of that is
there's the word that I was trying to find.
Dude, you're around people. Yeah. You're around people who've taken themselves to their capacity, their limits, even pre-war, or in downtime when you're back in garrison. You're around people who take themselves to their capacity and their limits every day. So automatically, you truly see what human beings are capable of. Also, you get to witness something that no one else in the existence of life form ever witnesses, with the exception of a small percentage of the human population. And I think that this Warrior Ride is going to be so, dude, it is beyond anything that you can grasp right now.
Yeah.
And you focus on you. I'll deal with the schmoozing. It's my job. Unfortunately, whatever. That's what I signed up for. I'll schmooze. It's all about you.
I'll do
if you feel like, I'll pop on for a minute or so. They need to heal. Like Kyle was saying, it's real, it's raw. None of this is scripted, and it's not going to be PGs. Everything is going to be as is. And Kai, we do have the film team, production team, who are going to film you at these checkpoints minimum.
Okay.
So everything's going to be good to go. It'll all lump in, but it's important, dude.
Yeah.
You can't wait.
I can't wait. Like I said, I'm super pumped. I'm just, I hope this helps as many people as I think it's going to. That's all.
It's going to.
I'm very happy for it. Yeah. And I would thank you guys, all the sponsors that are, oh man, this wouldn't be possible without all of you guys. And I love how we're all connected. We all came together. It's just wild. This is going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, I think Kyle BA has started the Warrior Ride on an annual basis forever. Not cross country, when people are like, oh my God. we're gonna create the Warrior everything. The ride in all our different checkpoints, big events or runs or whatever. But man, you and you alone have just created Anthony's name, or have just allowed Anthony's name to be incepted into everyone's brains.
Yeah.
For till the dawn of time.
That's what I hope for.
This is what this did.
No,
I'm serious.
This
is what this did.
That's crazy.
It's fucking
Couldn't
awesome.
be happier. Yeah.
All right. Maybe we'll go. Maybe in like a couple weeks or a few weeks, we'll do a teaser leading up to the Warrior Ride. But then after that, that's going to be the big show with multiple people on, and then I want you to talk. I'm just going to give you the whole floor, and we're not going to say anything. You talk for an hour. Yes.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Oh my God. I'm pumped, dude. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun, dude. That was awesome. So, dude, I love you, man. And I know Colin fucking loves you beyond belief, and everyone, all of us. Thank you for coming on, dude. Let's do that. And for everyone if you go on our social media, you can get the tickets to our essentially the release and our start point on the 29th April in Boston, Massachusetts at the Chart House. We're going to be starting at 11:30 a.m. and it's going to end roughly around 2 p.m. Kyle's going to step off. I'm going to say ballpark noon. Ballpark. We'll do immediate schmoozing and all that. We'll give you your kisses and hugs, and then we'll send you off. But it's going to be awesome. That event's going to be huge. It's going to be phenomenal. And this is the start line of something bigger than I've ever even imagined. So you're the man, dude. You're a fucking warrior. I love it, dude.
I do my best, baby.
Oh my God. So parents, sorry for the profanity if your kids are listening, but
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I don't really know how to navigate that issue.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It's just doing it for you. It's just BS. And so anyway, Kyle, dude, thanks for coming on, man. And we look forward to the start of this and having you on very, very, very soon.
All right. Yeah. 30 days.
Nice, dude.